Well, the 86th Village, an English novel, has now been translated into Kannada, and we have the author right here in Bengaluru, Sena Desai Gopal. Thank you very much for speaking to South First. First of all, I remember speaking to you about this, the title of your novel, very intriguing. How did that come about?
Thank you for having me. So the title just came out randomly because I was writing about the Upper Krishna Dam project that's drowning 176 villages. And the 86th village is a village that is going to drown in a dam, and it's the last village that's going to drown. And that's how the name came about. And it was a title that was given by my publisher, not me.
So, when did you start working on this particular novel? Because if I'm right, it's some 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, well, I first even thought about the novel almost 16 years ago, but I really did not do anything about it. And it's only in the last 7, 8 years that I worked on finishing it, found an agent, and then found a publisher in the United States. All of that takes about 4 years. So I worked on it for maybe 5 years, did 40 drafts, each 350 pages long. So it was a long process.
So what inspired you to blend a romance narrative with the broader themes of environmental and social issues?
So I'm actually a science and medical journalist. I also write about travel and food. And the 86th Village actually started as non-fiction. It started as an expose. I wanted to do a story or even like a small book on the corruption and mismanagement of the Upper Krishna project. As I started researching, I also became very, very aware that I wasn't I was a victim of it, and therefore I had biases, and I could not write it as nonfiction or journalism. So I took that as a backdrop to write a love story. Also woven in there is politics, climate fiction. In the US, it has been billed as a political thriller. The 86th Village is a political thriller.
Could you mention that, because corruption is a recurrent theme in your novel? Could you delve a little bit more on that?
That's very easy because India is full of corruption. So finding people who represent that is easy. And you also reach a time in your life where you can look at a person and say, okay, he may be doing things underhanded. So I wanted to bring to light the corruption of the system, but also the hope. So the book ends in a hopeful note.
Now, considering the fact that you're based in the US, what were the challenges that you faced to write this novel? Because you would want to actually come to the location, get information. How did you manage that?
I've lived in the US for 22 years now, but I visit at least once a year. And growing up, I spent a lot of time in Yadari, which is my ancestral village. Yadari will drown in the Upper Krishna project. 18 generations of my family have lived there. So the project was something that was discussed all the time in our family. So I didn't have to do much research. I knew what people were thinking about it, what people were doing. And my family is also very politically connected, so I knew what was happening.
Okay, and my final question to you is, your book over here now has been translated into Kannada. How does that feel?
Feels great. If only I could read it. I don't read Kannada, but it feels great because now the book has become accessible to all the people who are actually affected by this dam project. So I think it'll sell. It's also probably the only book in Kannada that deals with this theme in a fictitious way.
Thank you very much. We have Surya over here. In fact, he performed for us. Surya is also... Tell me what's your role in this particular novel?
Thanks for having me as well. I was inspired to write a musical called The Children of the Swamp by my mother's novel, The 86th Village. And it's something I've been working on for around 5 years. And it takes a lot of the themes of political corruption and misogyny and puts them in an American context. Growing up in America, I felt very far removed from my life in India, but writing this musical, it's almost built like an opera, honestly, allowed me to connect with my roots.
Okay. One more question. Your mom tells me that you want to take up music.
Yeah.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to also compose? Was that the inspiration behind all this?
Yes. So I am going to be attending university next year as a music major, and I'm hoping to not only learn music but take a multidisciplinary approach to it. That's why I composed this musical, because it's inherently multidisciplinary. I had to be a historian, a writer, a musician, a composer, arranger all at once. So I definitely want to continue that.